Hi, I'm Colin Bradley. I'm going to show you an eye exercise now. I'm going to start by putting the surround in here, and I'll do the first little bit here, then I'll carry on and show you little bits of that as I go along. But the main object of this, of course, is the eye itself, but we've got to put a surround in to make that believable. So let's get going. Now, to start off with, I'm going to use the white pencil, and here, working in the direction that we see the hair lying in. It'd be a bit boring for you to watch the whole of this, so I'm just going to do a little bit of this and show you. I'm using the dark grey pastel matte paper, which is something that I've used a lot and find it very attractive, and it's going to be really nice here. As you can see already how well this reacts to it. Now, as you come down towards the eye itself, which I'm not going to do the eye, I'm just going to do the surround, we then follow that round like that. Okay, and then I'll do a little bit more of this, and then we'll move on to the next colour. Now there's a darker marking here as well, so I'm just going to cut in on that slightly, but that's where it's going to be dark, and we've got another one coming up here. All right, so let's put that one in as well. And so on and so on and so on and so on around out. So watch me do that, and I'll then bring in the next colour. Actually, that's going to be a grey, believe it or not. Although it's let's just do that for you. You're not going to see this very clearly because the grey pastel is virtually the same colour as the paper. So do we need to do that? Yes, we do, because this creates a foundation colour, like a base colour for the dark colour that I'm going to be putting on in a minute. So there's that. No, you can't see it because it's the grey paper. Okay, so watch me as I do that, and I'll be showing you little bits of that as I go along, and I'm going to do the whole of that area there, all right, in preparation for the eye. Now I've got the two colours, those are the two colours I use, the white and the darker grey. Now I'm using the light grey 270, and this gives us a little bit more fill up. Now you can see the difference that that's making, and I shall carry on with that all the way through. Just come in slightly on the darker colour. We're going to put some quite strong tones on that eventually. I'll just do a little bit more of this. There you go. Again, sticking to the direction that we see the fur lying in. You see how important that is. Anyway, all the way around the same idea. And once I finish that, then we'll put some stronger tones on. Now, having put all those greys in and the white, I'm now using the colour shaper. Now, the colour shaper just pushes everything together. I've already done this. You can see the difference between this and this. I do this every time with the white work because it softens the effect that otherwise we've got rather a harsh area. Now watch me a little bit longer as I go around here. It doesn't mean to say we can't put any more on, we can, but at this stage we want to see how it's looking, and that's looking good. This is before we put the strong tones on. There you go. I think you can see now the difference between that and this. So I finish that off, and then we're going to use the darker colours. Now the darker colours, in this case, is a brown. So I'm going to use a brown, probably that one. I think this is 177. This is not critical. This is because this is only an exercise. But we're going to get to a point where we're going to put the eye in. And that's put in before we completely finish the surround. Okay, but it's nice to have that surround in so that we can see the effect the eye is going to have, and then we can finish it off. Now we want to pretty it up a bit. So what I'm doing, I'm using this one, 187. You can see I've started the ball rolling. Let's do a little more. Same idea though, following the same pattern that we did before. And that's on top of that. Now, you remember I put that grey on there, which you can't see very clearly because it's the same colour as the paper, but what it does, it gives us a base. So on top of that, I'm putting this is 182, and that's going to gradually fade into the surround like that. Yeah. Same again. And this is in preparation for the dark colour, which I'm going to put in a minute. Like now. And this is 177. This is going to make an appreciable difference now, but it's still not the finishing colour. I'm going to put a very dark colour on top of this. When I'm doing my cats or tigers or animals, there's usually quite a few colours I'm using. So I'm not sparing the horses with this demonstration. Got the idea? And I'll do this as well. Now this colour also comes into the rest of this. So I've already put that one, which is the 187, but I'm also now going to put some of this in, which is the 182. It's kind of repeating what I've just done in here, except now this is on the lighter fur. Now that's looking good. Okay, and we need some dark colour into there as well. Now all of this will be virtually finished when I've completed this, and then we go all the way around doing the same idea. Still sticking to the same principle that we want it to be in the direction that we see the fur lying in. Now I did say I was going to use a darker colour, which I am, and that's going to be now black in here. If you'd put black on to start with, it would have been too severe, but on top of these other colours, it looks really attractive. Like that. See? A bit more on here. And now I'm going to carry on with that all the way around the animal. And just so that you get a good idea of how this is going to end up, I'm going to come back in with the white pencil, which I invariably do once I've finished the fur. And you get that effect. Like that. Great. So watch me as I finish all of this off now, and I'll show you little sections of that as I go along. But it's all basically the same pencils that I've just used there. And again, working in direction that we see the it'd be slightly different because up here we've got a slightly stronger colour, just a little, and down here again we've got the same idea as that, but it will be more splintered. You'll see what I mean. Right, and now getting to the point where we can start thinking about putting the eye in. But before I do that, there's a dark edge coming from here down here, and set this up ready for the next colour, which is going to be 177. There we are. I'll just turn this round just a little so I've got a better angle. And then it splinters off. Now there's a concentration in the centre there, and that same as this area, which means I've got to use the black to intensify that, to make a lot more sense when we come to do the eye. And I think that's probably as far as I can go. I may well return to this later on, but the crucial thing is the eye now. Now we're going to start off there by using the white. And the light stretches from there, like that. Okay, and the next thing I've got to do is to lighten up the inside area of the eye here. Now it doesn't have to be very strong because we've got lots of colours to put in here, but we've got to put a base, and white is the obvious choice. Go around the light, the eye, around the pupil. I want to keep this as smooth as I can. Keep backtracking, making sure I've covered enough without putting pressure on. Okay, now I'm going to carry on along there. But what I want to show you next is the grey. Now, once again, you're not really going to see this clearly because grey on grey, but it's important to have that in there so that we can work the other stronger tones into that. Right, now at the same time, I'm also going to go around the edge of the eye here. I'm just going to start this off and then I can continue with it. But it's going to be the same all the way around here. Like that. Okay, you can leave that to me. So it's just those two I'm going to be using. Now the next colour I'm going to be using is this one, which is 102. Same idea as we did with the white. Don't press hard, just keep going until you cover as much as possible of the paper up. Gradually, as we develop more and more colours, that will fill up the paper. And we want to come right up into the edge there. Okay, I'm going to carry on with that, and you notice that what I've done here, I put a white edge on here. It's on the original picture, so I thought I'd follow it along. Okay, so that's a white edge on the rim. So let me finish this off. Now the next colour is grey. This is 270 grey. There we are. Now that has virtually filled up the paper now. And I think what we'll do is we'll just break off, and I'll blend that using the colour shaper. Take any of the dark colour away, we don't want that in the eye. There we are. Good. Great. Now we've got to add a few more colours now. I'm going to use the ochre. This is the 184. And we're going to start putting some colour in there. Now this is quite a strong colour, so you don't put too much on, just enough to colour and have a bit of impact. It's also a very, very pretty colour. That's it. And another colour which is important is this one, 273. Now you've got to be just a little bit careful with this, because it's got to be put in like that, where it gives it just a bit of design. You get an idea now of what's coming when you look at that. Good. Now that's that colour in. Now the only thing is there is some depth on the outside rim there, so let's put that in while we think of it. It's more obvious here. Good. And now the colours. Green. I've elected to use this one, and I've got two greens. That's a bit bright, but this one will be ideal. Same idea as we did with the grey. The green can be added. And all those colours, the greys and the ochres, are all designed to give us a really attractive eye effect. And I've lost the white in there, so I'll have to put that back in a moment. That's great. Now the other green is bright, but But because we've got all those other colours on there, it's not going to appear quite so stark as it would do if we didn't have that base that we're putting it into. And we're not very far away from finishing this section. A couple of little things now I can show you, which will enhance it. One is this one, which is 182. Now 182, we can add just a little bit of this on the edge of that grey, because it's going to be darkened in a minute. And there's just other little spots here and there. And I think that will do. Right, now let's put this white back again. And now 181. Now this is a little bit more critical now. We're going to put the pupil in the middle. Fill it in. And around the outside edge. But there is also some light. Let me show you where it is. Some here. It's best to do it now rather than wait until we've got the dark in, and some more there. That. And then the 181. And if I can, I want to put just a little bit of this dark on the inside there. Right, and now we come round the eye itself. Now here, it's a good idea to turn this round because you'll get a better angle to work from. And the same thing applies here. looking good, isn't it? And there we go, this side of that here. But now we can weaken that somewhat. Like that. And the same thing on the other side. Nearly there. Once again, keep turning it. The natural angle of your hand. Great. Now, a couple of little things to finish off here. This is 283. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to go right on the very edge of this. Like that. That's good. And the other thing, this is risky, but you've got to do it. Let me show you. Come from the edge and very, very lightly filter into the light area you've got. Bet you didn't think there was so much to it, did you? Well, you come out as far as there. Now see how much difference that makes. And when we come down here, we've got the same idea. You just have to keep going. Twiddle the pencil very lightly. And then that can come down. Not quite so much at the bottom. And there's no reason why, if you feel the way inclined, to add just a little bit of the dark colour into the eye itself. I did this earlier with the grey, but you can also do it with this. And it's looking really nice. And the other thing we can do here is we can come away with the 181 and filter this into the area around it. Same down here too. That looks really nice, doesn't it? I'm going to use the brown again, the 177, because I want to just put a little more colour. And then finally, just go back over with the white, making sure you've got that nice and bright. And if you've got one of these, this is where we could use it just to smooth some of the areas in, especially that one. It's a bit bright, so I'll pull it back a little. Same with that one. There we are. There we are, one eye. Now that has come up very well, and I hope that you've enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun, and I hope you have a go at it. I look forward to see you again sometime. Bye for now.